It is a very historic day, and overcome with emotion. We as a community have been for 2 years praying and advocating and hoping, and today to see 20 hostages alive, reunited with their families, is really, it really feels like a dream come true. It is exactly what we have been waiting for. And it's amazing to know that there are no more live hostages being held in captivity, in brutal captivity in Gaza. And there are still bodies that have not been returned. There are still families who will never see their loved ones again because they were either murdered on October 7th or soldiers who died in battle. And so we really are holding so many emotions at once. But none of them supersedes the fact that it is truly a joyful day. And some of the hostages that we saw returned today, Evyatar David is a hostage that so many in our Atlanta community, including Senator Ossoff, had adopted as a hostage that they wanted to make sure his story got home. And he is back with his family. And Omri Miran, who was captured from Kibbutz Nahal Oz, which is actually a partnership region of the Atlanta community, and a community that we have adopted and committed to rebuilding. He was the one hostage still not released from there, or the one live hostage anyways, and he has now been returned. So these are people whose stories, I mean, they are like our own family, and we are just so overjoyed that they will be home with their families. There's a Jewish holiday that starts tonight, the holiday of Simchat Torah. The war started actually on Simchat Torah 2 years ago, and to know that these families will be reunited for this holiday is just something that enables us to celebrate in a way we have not been able to do for 2 years. And we're really, really overjoyed about that, even though there are so many emotions.
Yeah, that was kind of my next question. What is the local connection here? Obviously, I know you're Jewish, the Jewish homeland, but I'm just saying in general, is there specific examples that you can give us a connection?
Yeah, look, Israel is our homeland. So many of us have family there, family who live there. I have a son who is currently serving there. We have children who are on gap years. So these are not strangers to us. And while some of the people are people we have actually met, they all feel like family. But some of them we have. So Evyatar David, his brother, came to the Atlanta community back in May, and so many of us got a chance to meet with him. We WhatsApp with him on a regular basis, check in and see how his family is doing. So these are people who truly feel like our extended cousins. They're our family.
So many people, whether you talk to people in Israel or Palestinians right now, the one common question everyone seems to have is like, what's next? I don't know if that's something that's been on your mind. I know it's a joyous day, but we haven't really heard a plan of like going forward. What's going to happen?
I think what's next is what's on all of our minds, and we need to take this moment to celebrate, but it's a long road ahead, and I can't answer what's going to happen in Egypt and what's going to happen with the other 19 points that were on the 20-point plan. You know, the release of the hostages was one. But for us at Federation, it almost doesn't matter, in that we are here to take care of the people in Israel, and whether there's peace tomorrow, which God willing there will be, or whether that is still a ways down in the journey, we know that they have years of needs for physical rebuilding, for destruction that has happened in the country, for economic recovery. Their reservist soldiers haven't been able to work for 2 years, and the impact on the economy, and the mental health needs for a population that has been traumatized over and over again over the last 2 years. And so for us, the commitment of what's next is to continue to support them, to continue to stand by them, and to continue to make sure they have the resources they need to rebuild and to heal.
So you guys actually take resources, I assume donations, and help?
Yes, yes. So when the war first broke out, we raised more than $12.5 million that we sent over for immediate needs. And thank God we have very generous donors who have continued to recognize that those deeds did not end in 2023 in October, and that we have an ongoing commitment to the people of Israel. And we are raising more and more dollars and sending millions of dollars a year to help in Israel.
Anybody else have any other questions?
think he kind of asked, so are you thinking long term at all? Or is it really just more of a in the moment kind of thing?
Sure. I think we're always thinking long term. We know that the impact of this war is going to be generational. And so we are here for everybody for the long term, and we don't know what the long term looks like. So in the moment, we're thinking about what needs to be done now, who needs help now, how do we support the families right now with everything they're going through. But we are absolutely thinking about what does it mean to rebuild this country long term and to start them on their path to healing.
Ask you a personal question. You said your son's serving in the IDF right now. Have you had a chance to talk to him? And if so, can you kind of share what he's telling you on the ground, what's going on there right now?
Look, I think everything, yes, I have had a chance to talk to him, but I think that everything that we feel here, they on the ground feel a million times over. And so the elation is greater, and the sense of loss for everything that has been lost to get to this point is even greater. And so they're holding a lot of emotions, but they're balancing it all, and everybody is just so grateful to have reached this moment, at least as a big, giant leap forward.
Do you have I don't know if you have or have not, any type of a ceremony, remembrance, any like a memorial service of sorts, anything like that you can talk about, or coming up?
Yeah. So we actually held our October 7th memorial service a week ago on October 5th. Because October 7th fell on a Jewish holiday this year. And it was a really interesting question of, do you celebrate on October 7th, which is the English date when it happened, not celebrate them, so do you commemorate on October 7th when it happened, or do you do it on Simchat Torah, which is the Jewish calendar date of when it happened, because Judaism works on a lunar calendar. And so we actually held a ceremony a week and a half ago where the hostages were still not released. It was being talked about, but nothing was guaranteed. We hadn't seen anybody home. And had we chosen to do it on the Hebrew date and to do it right after the holiday of Simchat Torah tomorrow, it would have been a very, very different feel. And so we will find times and ways to celebrate as a community. And it will be amazing that next year when we commemorate October 7th, it will actually be a commemoration and not simultaneously have to serve as a rally to free our hostages.
A lot of people know Yom Kippur and Purim. What's this particular holiday? What does it celebrate in Jewish culture?
So the holiday of Simchat Torah actually celebrates the beginning every year of the cycle of going back through the Torah. Every week in synagogue, we read a portion from the 5 books of Moses from the Torah, and we go start to finish once a year. And so in many ways, this it's really amazing that this is the holiday when these hostages are coming home, not just because it's also the holiday when it all started, but because it's a holiday about a new beginning and about starting a new cycle and about being joyous and celebrating. And so it's really, really just amazing that it is on the eve of this holiday that they were returned to their families.
And how do you pronounce that holiday again?
Simchat Torah.
And again, the reaction of the community when all this was announced?
We are just overjoyed. I mean, we have been waiting for this moment for 2 years, and we're sad for those who aren't coming home yet, and we're nervous and waiting for those who are still supposed to be returned just for proper burial who have not yet been, and we're waiting to see what happens in Egypt. But more than anything, we have been waiting for this moment, and we are just so excited for the families that have now been reunited.
The lapel pin, significance on that?
So the pin that I'm wearing, the yellow ribbon, has been the symbol for the hostages over the last 2 years. And I thought about taking it off this morning as I saw the 20 hostages return to Israeli soil, but we're still waiting for more of our hostages to be returned so that they can have proper burial in Israel. And so I'm still wearing the pin, but God willing, in another few days, we will all be able to take off our pins.
All right, let me get a nice tight little pin.
good?
I'm good.
Do you guys need a
Y'all are
video
easy,
for a
friendly
parking
crowd.
lot or
I was just gonna ask if you could.
What hall?
You're still hooked up, so
Yes,
let's
there's no-
unhook you. and-
Yeah.
If you could just sit where you were sitting when I came in, we could just get a quick shot of you, the setup shot, if you
All
want,
right.
a shot of you.
Anybody want to unhook her?
This is the only one that's on a cord.
Okay.
I don't want you to do anything. Thank you. And I'll just call when you get the video over.
Okay.
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך
Wow.
העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
So this is footage of a father and son being reunited. And there's one, it's the one I was looking at right before you came. I really want to find it. It was so, where on earth did it go? So weird. This was the return of Evyatar David. But there was one. Here's another hostage back with his wife, and the brothers reunited. It's amazing. There was one that seems to have disappeared. It's very weird. It was such a good one. Oh, it's because it was on this chat. This is the one. This is someone who we actually met his grandparents on a trip in January. And his dad, you'll see it in a second, his dad has cerebral palsy. And he said when his son comes home, he'll stand. He's wheelchair bound. And you'll see in a second, he stands up and gives his son a hug. It's amazing. There's the dad. His grandparents are Holocaust survivors. Amazing.
Just how do you feel when you see these videos?
It's overwhelming. I mean, like I said, these are people who we've met their families when I've been, thank God, to Israel 5 times since October 7th, maybe even 6. And, I've met their families. We read their stories. You see their pictures over and over. To see them hugging their real families, it's overwhelming in the best of ways.